Hello and welcome to another video sponsored by CompTIA, where we will be interviewing an influencer in the tech industry. We are very privileged today and thankful also to be interviewing somebody that's extremely well known in the local industry, Mr. Doug Woolley, who is the General Manager of Dell South Africa. Welcome, Doug.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us today. Can you
pleasure.
tell us a little bit about Dell in South Africa or in the region? Because I believe it's more than South Africa.
Yeah, so the business has been in operation for the better part of 25 years and effectively manage the Southern African region. Probably focus on about 300 customers where we do a direct engagement with customers, and then we utilize our broader ecosystem of partners to service those customers and provide technical expertise. So it's a very symbiotic environment and relationship that we have with our partner base to effectively take the Dell message and technologies to market.
Fabulous. 25 years, that's a long time.
time.
It's actually slightly longer than CompTIA has been here. Doug, tell me a little bit about your partner base and your relationship with the partner. We want to talk today about skills and skills development. So is there something that you have in place for your partners in terms of the individuals that are, for instance, working on your technology? Do you require certain skills?
Indeed, we do. Yeah, so it's a very skills-driven environment. I think the technology sector definitely does require you to have a certain level of skill sets. And from a Dell perspective, we have a whole partner program where we effectively make sure that our partners can do two things. One, from a skills perspective, articulate the messaging and the sales solution to customers, and then the technical requirement to be able to install and maintain and manage the environment with customers. So that's more on the technical side, and we have 3 levels of certification that we take the customers on in a whole varied set of products that we have. So it's intense, and when you get to the 301 side of the skills requirement, it can get quite hairy, and you really need to know your oats to be able to pass those exams. But yeah, skills very much the foundation of why we use partners. It gives us scale. It also gives us speciality because we've got a whole set of products that require a specific skill set. And it also gives different partners of different sizes an opportunity to be part of the Dell partner ecosystem. So if you're a smaller partner and you want to just specialize in a specific technology area, it's very easy to go and do that. If you're a much broader partner, like some of our big systems integrators, you can have a much broader portfolio. So I think our partner program, I would really rate it as one of the better ones out there, and it does drive skills and skills enablement and development across the board.
The Dell name certainly doesn't need any introduction.
No.
May I ask about your social responsibility programs? I believe that you have a project that is really changing lives in rural areas. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so the big driver there is our Kalisa Academy. It's also a skills-driven project that we do. So we bring in students from rural communities that are, typically left behind, and we take them on a 2-year journey within Dell to basically get them at the highest level of certification across a number of products. So right from development through to managing databases, through to virtualization and artificial intelligence. What stands out for me from this program is that 80% of the students that we bring in are female. And unfortunately, IT has been one of those industries that has probably been a little bit male-dominated. So this is an opportunity for Dell to effectively address that issue and give technical females the opportunity to effectively get into this industry. And our success rate has been beyond even our own expectation. We place these students either in our partner base, so again, that symbiotic relationship where we bring skill to the market, or with customers. And for the past 8 years in running this program, we've had 100% placement where these young kids have effectively found employment and are making a difference in the IT industry.
How often does this run?
It's part of our equity equivalent program, so it's over a 10-year period. And we bring in about 60 students a year over the 2-year rolling program. So yeah, if you work it out, we've probably brought about 500 new skills into the market in South Africa, with 80% being female.
That's incredible. I don't think that I have come across a project that has 100% placement rate. So well done.
No,
I think
thank you.
that's fabulous. And also having such a large percentage females.
Yeah.
It is something that I personally feel very strong about. And we just recently met a lady that runs Women in Tech in South Africa. So I might, bring her to meet you as well,
By all
because they
means.
do a lot of things for
Yeah.
women too.
Yeah.
I think what stands out the most for me is that you go to rural areas,
Yeah.
and because a lot of projects focus in the main cities and give opportunities to people that are living in the main city. So going to the communities and offering it there is really commendable. I think that's really
I think
great.
there's so many skills across the country, and I think it's, again, you're highlighting skills that are in abundance in areas like that. It's just about giving people an opportunity.
Yes.
And I think, we've tried to do that in all our social development projects that we've done, even the solar schools that we drive, in the rural communities as well. And I think that's what I love about South Africans. Just give us an opportunity,
Yes.
and we will make a success of it. And, part of Dell's mantra is effectively just to give people an opportunity. And it's very much part of our value systems. How do we change human lives, and how do we change that drive that just gives people that one shot?
Exactly.
And South Africans are very good at taking the opportunity and making the most of it.
Very true. So when I spoke to Daniel earlier, he mentioned the solar schools.
Yes.
And I believe it's not just in South Africa.
No, so we probably were one of the founders around this at a global level. So it's a global program that we do in a number of
Fantastic.
countries now. But South Africa really took this and ran with it. So today we have over 16 solar schools across the country. We estimate we've probably brought over 500,000 kids
That's incredible.
in terms of tech, so either at a very basic coding level or computer literacy. And we're continually rolling out solar schools. So we'll probably be deploying another 2 this year. And we're really trying to make sure that there's sustainability built into the school. I think what we've seen with a lot of CSI programs, it's easy to donate money.
Yes.
And effectively take the credit on your scorecard. And I think we've always had this view at Dell that we want to have this as a sustainable project and program for a lengthy period of time.
Yes.
And a lot of our schools have been in operation for probably more than a decade. And they also now act also as a community center. So it's not just a question of focusing on the youth. We're also trying to make sure that people, again, in rural areas or that don't have access to tech, can use this to start a small business, put up a website, do your CV, get some basic computer skills, and it really is becoming a hub for the community rather than just the school. And we're also looking to augment that this year with a basic clinic type of facility. So, obviously in South Africa, we've got a challenge with basic healthcare.
Yes.
So we're looking to facilitate that as well and use telemedicine to bridge that digital divide as well. So it's a very, very exciting project. It's in its infancy at the clinical level, but we definitely want to drive this and make sure that, we make a meaningful impact in areas that typically wouldn't have these type of services.
That is commendable. I'm
thank
really impressed. So, like you said earlier, I've seen a lot of projects being done over the years, and there are 2 types. There's the ones who will give you money, and then the ones that impress me are the ones who get their hands dirty and really get in there and make a long-term investment in the local community, because that's what it's all about.
I agree fully.
So let me backtrack a bit and come back to Dell South Africa. Tell me a little bit about what is your policy internally in terms of retaining skills, getting skills, upskilling staff. So I know it's quite a big question, but maybe tell me a little bit about what is your outlook internally.
So it's a global program. So again, I think when you're working for a big global organization, the skills are at the heart of it. And we drive skills in 2 ways. So, on the front end side or the front office people, there's continual training that gets done. We've actually created our own internal Dell Sales University that takes you through a whole module of courses over your sales career or product management career. A lot of it is self-paced study, and a lot of it is also driven around specific timelines where you have to meet it. And that effectively takes people through from soft skills, so let's say negotiations or being able to put a presentation through to a customer, to very product-centric skill set. So that's on the front side. And then with our technical staff, they have to meet requirements on an ongoing basis to obviously make sure that they are able to service our customers or our partners. So that is, deep technical skills and also specialization. If you want to be a storage specialist, we'll move you into that direction, and you effectively then follow the course modules and certify, as well as all the foundational stuff around operating systems. So very in-depth at the heart of the business, both at a sales product management level as well as the technical level. And something that does get driven very, very hard in the organization is a skills-based organization, and very much core to you being an individual. To answer your second question around retaining skills, I think because we put a lot of effort in, people are always at the forefront of what is happening. So you create that excitement, you first to market with a lot of products or new trends. I think that also just creates a little bit of that excitement in that you always ahead of market. So that makes it easier for somebody then to really excel and be in probably the best playpen in town when it comes to skills.
So that's all the serious stuff. I don't see a cricket pitch here.
No, you don't.
When
or
you
a
were
golf match.
when you were in the previous premises,
Yes.
I know that you guys made use of the facilities that were on the premises. So what happens for fun at Dell?
The foundational stuff that we have here is our forums that we put together. So a lot of fun days. We also have a whole driver with ERG. So there's a social component. So that's our employee resource groups.
Okay.
So our employee resource groups will take on specific tasks. So a good one would be our employee resource group around planet. So, that's staff that give their own time to basically drive projects around greening and the environment. And they would then utilize, so it's basically like a club of people that would then, go and clean up a river or entice the rest of the group to partake in something like that. We also have an ERG called Mosaic, which talks about diversity and understanding cultures. And we'd have a culture day where we would do a potjie course with different cultures.
Oh, nice.
So the employees drive a lot of the fun activities in the business, because then it's from the floor.
Yes.
And you get a much better buy-in. So there's a lot of those type of activities that keep the morale going, get people back into the office, and we just have a laugh. But we also address social concerns, and I think that's important, is that you can have fun, but there's also a little bit of give back to the community or a project or an idea, and it just makes you feel good at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I'm going to end this by something a bit more personal. I looked at your bio, and you've worked at a lot of big name companies here in South Africa, a lot of them multinationals. What advice would you have for somebody that wants to come into a career in IT, or is already in IT and they want to build on their career? What personal advice would you give them? How do they get there?
Yeah, look, I think the big thing is to set yourself some goals. I'm a firm believer your career is something you manage. A lot of people look to the organization to set them up on their career.
Very true.
But your career is your investment in yourself. And I think it's a combination of setting goals and then building the skills to be able to meet those goals. And I think, if you drive that as a consistent way of work, the opportunities will open up. And, that's sort of what I've done over the course of my career is, you constantly have to build your skill sets and make sure that you're on top of things, but with a clear goal in mind.
Like I said earlier, thank you for
thank you.
prioritizing CompTIA to come and talk to you here today.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate your time. And I'm absolutely in awe of all the things you do here. I hope that we can get a bit closer in future and work together. Our organizations work together extensively
we
right
do.
across the world. So we can certainly do that. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
And with that, we have just concluded our interview with Doug Woolley, who is the General Manager at Dell South Africa. Please comment if you want to be involved in anything that Doug has mentioned here today. I think he's given us a very good insight into what Dell in South Africa is achieving, not only internally for their staff, but also for the community. Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to see you in the next video.